Welcome back to the Bookends. Hold on. Well, how do we say it?
Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
I'm Jessica House. We are literary agents at BookEnds. I'm just leaving that in. We are literary agents at BookEnds who have taken our popular blog to YouTube to discuss all things publishing. And we are fairly fresh off the heels of our own website redesign. So we wanted to talk today about what makes a good author website great.
And can we say it wasn't easy?
No, oh my God.
It was a full year of design, but I think it was a 6 months prior to that of planning.
I do think in my 6-7 years at BookEnds, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. It was a lot of work, a lot of meetings, hours and hours, frustration. Shout out to our designer, ABA Design. We appreciate you. We have a very big website, and I think we wanted it to do a lot of things because we're doing a lot of things, I guess, right? And it wasn't easy to make that all meld together and decide on the pages. So we wanted to talk a little bit about how we see an author website and how we think an author website should also showcase and work for you.
Yeah, it's really, really easy just to throw a website up, and it gets easier and easier every day, right? But your website is part of developing your brand. And the more books you sell and the more you put yourself out there as a writing professional, as an author, as a publishing professional, from that first query onto your 15th published book, you're going to get more and more attention on your website. And you want that to be a really strong piece of your puzzle. And I think a lot of authors think because of social media and maybe even their books, the website just sort of falls in and becomes this, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times it becomes an afterthought.
It does not take on a life of its own. You have to give it life. And I think that's the most important thing. I recently saw a disagreement. It wasn't angry on Twitter, where an author said they don't feel that authors should have to have a website because social media does it all for you, but it doesn't. Especially
this is a big one for us.
Yeah, especially as we're seeing Instagram deprioritize photos and prioritize videos. Like, it's not easy to get your stuff seen on the interwebs, and it's not easy to make sure you have the most up-to-date information floating around on social media. So it is important that you have a website, a static place where you update everything that is about you and your books. It is your online resume, and it's not just for readers, and it's not just for your publisher. It's for literally anyone who wants to know more about you, including conferences, interviewers, blogs. You don't know who's coming, film. You don't know who's coming to your website. It is crucial to have one. It's a pain in the neck, but it is crucial.
It has to be a go-to place for people to come for whatever reason and whatever information they need about you. And this is why doing the BookEnds website took 6 months of just upfront planning, which is, who is our audience? Why are they coming here? And if I relied only on social media, only on our Instagram and our Twitter for people to learn about me, how are they going to truly find how to query me, what I'm looking for in my queries, the history, the books I've done in the past, and who I am as an agent? They would have to scroll through. I'm expecting them to scroll through my Twitter or my Instagram. That would be crazy because they wouldn't be actually able to find what they're looking for in an easy, accessible way.
So say you're an author, you have 15 books published, your most recent book published in 2022, but your first book ever published in 2007, if my math is right. How is anybody supposed to know about your 2007 book? You're going to scroll back to 2007? Are you posting about 2007 every time you post about 2022? You're just not. You need a place where everything is comprehensive.
Yeah.
So we have talked a lot about websites and what should go on an author website on the channel before. And if you need a quick reminder, we feel every website should have an About You page where you're a photo and who you are, paragraph of who you are, a page for your books with all of your buy links, right? So every book that you have written should be on your website. Every published book that you have written should be on your website with buy links.
And what we need by buy links, you can see in the other videos, but you cannot just have one.
Yes.
You have to, if you're going to honor Amazon with a purchase of your book, you need to do the same of Barnes and Noble and the indie bookstores and everybody else.
I
So
suggest
really
going to your publisher page.
yeah, that's super important. Yeah, your publisher page too. It's super important because if an indie goes to your website and realizes that the only bookstores you promote are Amazon and Barnes and Noble, they might be less likely to make that purchase for in their store.
Yep, for sure.
Anyway, a
Not
little
everybody loves
aside.
Amazon. And the last thing that we have talked about ad nauseum is a contact page, whether a contact form or an email or a list of emails to who to contact about what. So all
Which
of
could
those
be
things.
your agent's contact, your film agent's contact, your publisher's contact, not your editor's contact, but maybe the publisher in general, those kinds of things.
Yeah. And all of those things are the bare necessities. That's what will make a basic author website. But we're not in the business of making basic author websites. We're making great author websites. So we have a list of 5 things that we think can help set yours over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is personality. And I know Jessica has lots of thoughts and feelings about this, so I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, your personality is your brand, right? And there are a million. Do a search for author websites for some of your favorite authors or other authors who write in your genre. And I think it's pretty quick to see that they're very generic. And everything about them is generic, right? That the photos are just a generic headshot. The design looks the same from author to author. Don't do that. Just don't. When we did the BookEnds website, we spent a lot of time reviewing other agency websites. And we picked and choose those we liked, the way certain things were done. It might have been the illustrator page was a big conversation for us. What did we like about other websites and what didn't we like? But then the bigger conversation was, who is BookEnds? What is our brand? What is our personality? Everything from the color scheme to our mission statement to what kind of energy did we want to portray on our website. All of that came through. And you need to do the same with your site. You need to have the colors that reflect you, the layout. What do you want to highlight most? Do you want to highlight yourself, your headshot, your face? Do you have a love of nature, and does that flow through all of your books? So maybe you want that to be reflective in your website. You want lots of nature looking backgrounds and things like that. Think about all of that and how that comes through. You know, if you're a big foodie and food plays a part in all of your books, then maybe you want to include a special page about recipes or something like that that makes you stand out and a little bit different than everybody else.
Yeah, and I think personality can come out in a lot of different ways, right? Like it can come out in different color schemes. It can come out in the way that you write your bio, the way that you write, all of the things that have to be on your website in a fun author headshot. So make it feel authentic to you. And I think trying to set yourself apart from every other author website is going to be hard. And I don't think it's crucial in every single way, but what is the one thing about your website that's going to be distinctly you?
Yep.
So the next thing is, we talked about this a little in the beginning. If you have written books since 2007, every single book should be on your website. It should be completely updated. You should not be leaving books off. If they are published books, they are part of your brand. Readers can find them through your website. You want them up there. And as Jessica mentioned, with those complete set of buy links. But you also want to make sure that if you have books that are forthcoming, the pre-order links are being updated, and when that book is finally published, that it's changed from pre-order to buy now, because a lot of people might not pre-order. So you want to make sure
It drives me nuts when I go to an author's website and the book that's been out 2 months still says coming soon.
You want to laugh. I actually, with all of the advice that I have given on this channel, I went on my website recently and I completely re-updated, like redid the whole thing. And I was like, well, crap. My book had been out for like 6 months and it still said pre-order. So I get how it happens. You don't realize all the different places that you have to update something, but make a list. This way you don't miss it, because you don't want to miss it.
And the other thing about the updated book list that's really important is, if you're writing a series, your readers want to know how they can find the full series list in the order. So I would suggest, even if it's not on the books themselves, I would get in the habit of saying domestic diva, book number 1, title. You know, you don't have to do it with the first book, obviously, but as you're putting more and more books on the series, make it really obvious the order the books are go in, because that matters to readers.
Oh, it matters to me as an agent too when I'm trying to find out.
Yeah. Which
um,
book is this?
yeah, I do it all the time. Especially for the domestic diva, we're at like number 17. I'm like, what number was it?
Totally.
Okay, the next thing that you should have is downloadable photos. So it's great to have your author headshot on there, but sometimes your publisher, publicist, your blogs that are reaching out to you, conferences, your agent maybe, they're gonna need a headshot of you and they're gonna want it in the pinch. And the one place they should be able to get that from is by going to your website and just
Yeah.
downloading that photo, because we know it's the photo that you are using to present yourself to the world. And if we can download that at ease, then great. I also would say do the same for your book covers, because authors might want to post a book cover on there. So, I mean, readers might want to post a book cover on their website or their social media. Your agent might need it,
Bloggers,
bloggers.
reviewers, make it easy
Exactly.
for them to go and get it, because pulling them off of Amazon or Barnes and Noble or other bookstores actually isn't easy. So
Yep.
make your website that go-to place.
Yep. You can get the high res from your publisher, or you can Google the cover and click tools in the top right, change the size to large, and download a high res cover. But everything should be high res.
Yep. Yep.
One thing I like to suggest is having a short bio and a long bio. A long
That's a
bio
good idea.
being 3-ish paragraphs, which is might be your full author bio, your full bio in general. But then having a shorter bio for somebody who wants something that's like 150 words, akin to what would go on the back cover of your book, or if conference wanted something short, or you may put in social media, having something that people can grab that's not 4 paragraphs long in your whole life story, having something that's strictly for promotional use also on your website, so that all of the people that we've listed earlier in this video, if they need it, they can get it. It's the same as
And
your author photo. People will go there and look for it.
and honestly, make it personal, make it fun. If you write um books with a hint of magic, you use that in your bio. Like, what brings you to write that? I think that your bio can be more than just has written books since blah 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 on her first book and blah blah blah. Like, make it kind of fun and let people get to know you. If you have multiple series or multiple kinds of books, maybe make a bio that sort of feeds into the information about that. Like, since we mentioned Krista Davis's Domestic Diva, out of a love for blah blah blah, or a passion for Martha Stewart, or for whatever reason you're writing those books, bring that into the bio, because again, it makes you interesting on the website, but also gives great content for reviewers and bloggers to pull out when they're trying to write you up.
The best examples of this are picture book authors. They kill it every single time. There's
I
always
bet.
like a fun tie-in to their book content. So read a couple of those. They're always fun to see.
Well, and that's a good point. When researching what you want your website to look like, don't just research books and authors in your genre. Research all authors in many different ways, because you might find something fun that nobody in your genre is doing, and that would make your site stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Our last tip is to have extensive contact information. So there are a lot of reasons why any person might come to your website, which we've mentioned earlier. So what we would suggest is having that complete list of contacts. So have a contact form or a direct email to reach out to you if the reader or whoever wants to send fan mail, or a conference organizer wants you. Have some contact information for your agent for business
Mhm.
inquiries that can just go directly to your agent. Your agent can handle for you.
Yep.
Subsidiary rights information, if somebody is interested in film or audio or merchandising rights for your book, having a contact, be it at your agency or your publisher, that they can reach out to, depending on who is
Mhm.
holding those rights. And the last thing is publicity information. Are you working with the publicist at your publisher? List that person, ask if you can list them, and list that person for specific books. If there is something that is coming forward for you to do an interview with a huge magazine, can they reach out to that person directly? Having that breakdown, not only will it make your life easier because you're not
Yeah.
getting every single inquiry for things that you're just gonna have to forward on anyway, but it makes the person who is coming to you, it makes their life easier too.
Yeah. Totally. So
Yeah.
make it easy for people to want to license the rights to your book.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let them give you money.
Right, right.
So these are all of our tips. These were all things that we kept in mind when we were, granted, the BookEnds website is a lot more vast than an author website and had a lot of different people that we were trying to showcase, but these are all things that we kept in mind when we were doing our site. All of our agents have their own page. Photos and book covers are downloadable. You can contact any one of us with ease, I would say,
Yeah.
fairly. So the website is supposed to be an easy and accessible experience for your viewer, and we think that it's worth just putting in the work to make it that way as soon as possible.
Absolutely, it's worth it because this is your brand, this is your storefront.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So,
It's good. It is your storefront.
yeah.
Anyway, we hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next week.
Bye.